What do all of you guys think of the latest Fable reveal that they did at the Xbox showcase? From what I can tell, people are generally more positive about it than they have been about previous trailers they've dropped for the game. The first trailer, well, I guess it's the second trailer, because the first one was with that frog. The second trailer was the one with Richard Ayoade, I want to say, from IT Crowd. And then this is like the third one that they've done. And it's interesting because they're doing this like kind of Office inspired interview, documentarian kind of irreverent humor trailer. And I really like it. It's different from what we've seen. Highlights the characters you're going to see in the game. And I just find it entertaining. I love this kind of thing. That being said, it seems like people's initial frustration is they felt that the player character was intentionally ugly or something in the first or again second trailer that they did. I don't know. I didn't think it was. I think the lighting was just really bad in that trailer. Like it was always dark and just gritty. But I was like, it probably doesn't matter because it's probably gonna have a character creator. This trailer seems to suggest there will not be a character creator though, which is bold because Fable has that. So there's that. But we'll get to that. All told, I'm like, if you're not going to play this game because you don't like the look of the protagonist or you don't find her attractive enough, I think the problem's with you. I think that's a really stupid reason not to play a game, frankly. Like, if the game is really, really good, the game's really, really good. Like, it might be difficult to bring yourself to play the game if the protagonist isn't to your liking, if you're that, frankly, like, shallow, I guess would be the term. But frankly, like, a good game is good, and that's all I'm really looking for it. Like, if the protagonist is not the hottest, it's not the end of the world, frankly. And if that's where you draw the line, okay. I personally think you'll miss out on some good games, but like there's that. Like Kratos, Daddy Kratos, he's a good-looking dude, right? Good-looking dude. If his teeth were a little screwed up, maybe he had like a little bit of a jaw, would that be the end of the world? I don't think so. I think the game would still be very, very good. This whole thing reminds me of what I forget who exactly, it was one of the executives over at Warner Brothers Discovery, where it was with Hogwarts Legacy. And like some media person asked them, what are you going to do about Hogwarts Legacy? And all the people calling for boycotts because of J.K. Rowling and all the stuff she said. And the head honcho over at Warner Brothers was like, yeah, we feel that this is a very online issue, is the exact words that he said. It was like, yeah, I think like the average person that's going into the store and is like playing these games, like they probably don't care that much. It's like something people might freak out about on Reddit or Twitter /X, but in the real world, I don't think that many people really care about it. But anyway, with the trailer, they show a lot of interesting little set pieces. These things, the game looks freakishly good. Like this appears to be a gameplay shot of the character actually walking. And what they say at the top of the trailer, in-game footage, not in-engine, in-game. So if that's the case, if this is what the game actually looks like when you're playing it, man, this is outrageous. Like, just look at it.
It's like a fan club, but we hate you.
Your chances and the occasional giant toad for some reason. But it's more than that. It's about the choices you make.
I'm a hero. I should do what I want.
You thought you could save her.
You know, it's your life and death stuff. That's what
Digital Foundry said it's in game too. Yeah, I mean, it looks outrageously good. Now, on the podcast earlier today, Joe Raptor said something that I thought, caught it flagged something for me, where he said it feels like there might be something that they're keeping back, like something that's being hidden, because he's like, we've seen this a few times and we haven't really seen just gameplay. It's always like little snippets in a story trailer, but that like you can kind of look and that's probably gameplay, but we haven't just seen like a fight. We haven't just seen a dialogue encounter. We haven't seen any of that stuff. And I think at this point in the marketing cycle, they're probably just trying to establish the tone, and then they'll do that, like those types of reveals later, because they presumably have plenty of time for this. I mean, when did they say? They just said 2025. It's totally open-ended. So Next year, at some point, we'll get this. So they have plenty of time to do like a gameplay reveal. But I do think that that would quell a lot of concerns if they just showed what the gameplay actually looks like. Yeah, but Luke, if that was real gameplay, why not show it off for literally longer than 1 second? This feels odd. Well, because it's a narrative trailer. Like they're using in-game footage for a narrative trailer. Like Red Dead, I'm gonna have to do this in like small snippets because Red Dead 2 trailer. Because last time I played this all the way through, Rockstar copyright claimed it because they copyright claim trailers occasionally, which is ridiculous because these are all cutscenes and stuff from the game. But like even these are all in-game shots. And there's even shots of like little gameplay bits where, you know, you might see them riding on the horse or going in and fighting somebody, or like there was that one shot rolling out of the bar into the mud. Like there's a lot of things where they'll show segments from in the game that then they just cut into a trailer, and it works. It works because it's a narrative trailer, but they're using in-game footage. That's cool. I don't have a problem with that. And the thing is, like, they have still probably, honestly, let's be real, probably over a year. I don't think this is coming in the first half of 2025. If it were, I think they would have said that. So I'm guessing later next year. And if that's the case, they have plenty of time to show actual like gameplay. I think, you know, sometimes we can maybe forget how long like a year and a half is, you know? Yeah, it's kind of like using B-roll. Yeah.
I knew this one hero. I took her in.
So like listen to this dialogue. This is in game where he's delivering a line. This is why part of why people think that there's probably no character creator.
I knew this one hero.
I'll put subtitles on. I knew this one hero.
I took her in when she had nowhere else to go. Welcome to the most exclusive club in all of Albion. Thought I'd get her out there, make the most of her gift. But you know what it's like when you're young and you have a point to prove. I tell you, this kid, she had it all. The skill, the talent, the power. She was something else, all right. She was terrifying. So, yeah, I knew this girl once who made all the wrong choices.
Humphrey. She's back.
I'm going to fix it, this place. And no one is going to stand in my way.
Okay. So people heard that and they're like, hey, there's a lot of like specific dialogue referring to her. She did this and all that. And so people are like, well, if I have full creative control of the character, did they just record that line twice and redo the animation depending on what you choose? Maybe that could be the case, or it's just a pre-assigned player character and that's that. I don't really care that much either way, personally. If the game is good, the game is good. I just personally don't really care. They could do something where it's like almost like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, sort of spoilers for that game coming up here in a second, where you get the option between Cassandra and Alexios, right? And if you pick one, like say you pick Cassandra, Alexios is still in the game, but is elsewhere and you'll encounter him later in the story. So this could be the fact that they have hero and then rival hero as the subtitled.
She's back.
Like,
Humphrey.
so you see hero, Humphrey.
She's back.
She's back. Voldemort's back. Oh God. And then rival hero. So maybe it's just whichever one you don't choose. So if you choose, but even that, then they're both female. So then is it just you are going to play a female character? I don't know. Nobody really knows at this point as far as I can tell. If like the game from all these different perspectives, I think looks solid. I mean, production value is off the charts. And I mean, it seems like they've really cranked a lot of these dials. And this seems to be actual like footage of an encounter where if the camera normally is this far back, you pop an ability. With these, typically they turn off the HUD. So they just get cleaner footage, but you can see The ability pulls him up, and then she fires an arrow. So maybe this is a broader ability that you can use. Or this one where she's actually kicking out his leg and then swings around. You shouldn't grab the blade like that. That's a recipe for disaster. She's not even wearing gloves. Like, who's going to tell her that's not how swords work? Like, at all. Like, that is not how swords work. Like, and why do it like that? You were holding the sword correctly. You were holding it right. I know maybe she didn't want to kill him, but still, you grabbed the metal blade and then hit him with the sharp point, not the sharpest point to be fair, but like the sharp edge of the hilt of your sword. That could still kill a dude. That could still do pretty bad. Shouldn't do that. And then your hands, you're going to cut off your fingers. Unless it's like the world's dullest blade. It's just funny. Like, that was cool. I'll give her that. That was cool. She grabs, like, catches something. Hold on. Yeah, look at this. I'll have you know, I watched a Mythbusters episode. You can't actually do this. It's humanly impossible to catch, like, a full speed arrow like that. It just doesn't really work. Your hand can't close fast enough. There's ways you can do it, like if you do it tons of times and it's going slower than a fully strung arrow and stuff. But like, I've seen the Mythbusters episode, X to doubt. But you're right, that damn punk, you're right. It's a game. With all these things, it is a game. And like, it's a game where we're fighting trolls. If you're going to, with so many of these little things, it can sometimes feel like people are just looking for reasons to be pissed off. And that's a frustration of mine, because sometimes, like, when a bad game comes along, there's reasons not to play it. There's things you can point to where you're like, hey, the price to gameplay time proposition is super poor, or the content super repetitive, or it's buggy and broken and the writing is horrible and all this. But sometimes it can just feel like people are looking for reasons to be pissed off, and like not wanting to play the game because the character isn't attractive enough is, to me, kind of a silly reason. If it's because the quality of NPCs or quality of animation or graphics is really poor, okay, that is a broader thing. But just to be upset about like a character's design is not a super valid point to bring in my view. But like this trailer looks really solid. Just across the board as far as I can tell. Of course, when we get actual gameplay, I think there will be a lot more to work with. But based on these trailers, I think it's perfectly reasonable as like a fan of Fable games to be cautiously optimistic. It seems like they've been cooking, and we'll see how it plays out as time goes by. But now they've had a couple of trailers with some really impressive visuals that have actually improved year over year. The trailer for Fable that they dropped last year, if you look at this one, you can see kind of similar tone and vibe, and they show some similar segments of like bigger set pieces. Graphics are good, but it feels like they've actually improved the skin renderings and the subsurface scattering even more since last year's reveal. And then these big set piece things like the fight against the giant, like this is just cool. Fighting a giant in his house. It was cool in Ragnarok and it's cool here. I like it. I love big set piece stuff. So it seems to only be getting better with time. He took my thing. Red